Well, if you want to make some brownies, sometimes you got to crack some eggs, and that's exactly what Matt Shaw was all about. It was cracking in the top of the 8th. We saw him put bat to ball, and boom, just like that, family reunion time. Everybody was coming home. Willie, Nico, Dansby. It was a party at the house. Just like that, it was a 6-1 Cubs affair in the blink of an eye, and they closed things out, avoiding a 4-game skid. The only team in the bigs that has not dropped 4 in a row. So, welcome on in. You know what time it is. It is time for us to get loose right here on Cubs Postgame Live. I'm Cole Wright, alongside the Hall of Famer, Elise Menaker, Floyd, perusing some of the evening statistics, and it's all about Cade Horton. We don't need to look at those stats just quite yet. One thing we already know is that he was remarkable, Elise.
Just more of the same, which is a great thing for him since the All-Star break. What do you have some? Did you notice?
Did you want to put those numbers forth? Or?
You don't know what I'm looking at.
Okay, all right. Well, in the meantime, Elise, how'd you feel about Cade Horton?
Looking at the notes. It just gives up a run, 75 pitches, and I think going back out there in the 7th was really big. I just think continuing to see the more you can see Cade Horton out there, the better. And so going 6 1/3 tonight, you can see just the 4 hits, so the 1 run. And it wasn't a ton of strikeouts, but it's the no walks over and over again. Cade Horton is very efficient. He gets ahead. He throws strikes. This is someone who only had 2 3-ball counts tonight, and overall since the All-Star break, he has not had many.
Yeah, 2 or fewer walks in his last 7 outings. He's been extremely efficient, keeping things right around the strike zone. He's been stealing at bats from the opposition, just like Cliff stole that pen of mine. The cap just fell off of it. Cliff, what'd you see from Cade Horton out there this evening that allowed him to be so dirty, man?
Well, I mean, he kept these guys off balance. I think the one thing, he made pitches when he needed to. When you look at, the lot of zeros he threw up, I mean, that to me
is that coding? It looks like a code.
Well, it looks like coding, but I'm going to tell you, it looks like Cade is doing his thing in the second half of the season, trying to put this team on his back and say, hey, I don't know what's going to happen when it comes time to make the decision on who starts in the postseason, because I'm putting them there. I don't know. I mean, for me.
Does he start game 1?
Well, I think Notch and I, we had a discussion depending on matchups and who they playing.
If it's at Wrigley.
Yes, but if it's the Padres, they got some lefties. So you have to look at it from that standpoint. But what I say tonight, it was another step in him and his growth and understanding that this is going to be the pressure that he's going to be put in to go out there and excel when it gets to postseason time. You can't yank him when it gets to that time of the season. You can't. It's just going to be impossible to take him out of a game when it's a must-win type of situation. But I think he's showing that he deserves every opportunity to do that.
Best of 3 postseason series at Wrigley Field. Cade Horton, game 1. Is that who you're going to? His ERA at Wrigley, 1.55.
Yeah, I think it's less about the ERA at Wrigley and more about, like you're saying, the matchup. And I do look at experience. I'm probably looking, because we were talking about this yesterday. What? You want in game 1?
I personally, I'm not about matchups. I say if he gets all that energy from Wrigley Field,
I don't think
let's
I want
roll.
him starting in game 1. You're probably looking like a Shota, happy boy.
Thank you. Because he wants to ask a question to make you say, yes, he starts game 1. No, you just said just ask us the questions regularly. So if you say it the way like, hey, Cole, who would you start game 1? And then you would give however you want to give it. And then we'll move on to the next guys. Because that's how it goes. You don't put me in a position to go, oh, yeah, absolutely, he's starting game 1. Because
so you wouldn't like to start him game 1?
Yeah, I would love to start him game 1, but I'm going to go by matchups, is what we said.
Okay. But what if it's the Mets, Cubs and Mets? Would you start Cade Horton against the Mets game 1 at Wrigley Field? Christopher Antonacci's wagging his head no.
I'm saying no, because you have the big boy out there in right field. You have Brandon Nemo.
Player of all time.
You have a few lefties that I'm going to try to negate with, starting it with Shota or Boyd or whoever case. So, no, I'm going with Boyd or Shota, Cade, and then the other
just to mix things up, lefty style. Okay, how about this? We know that Cade was a lightning rod tonight, but so was PCA. We saw him get the Cubs on the board early on in the first, had the little sac fly, and then he got himself a knock. Starting to turn the corner is what you want to see with the postseason on the horizon.
Yeah, you're just going to need, for guys like Kiko Armstrong when Kyle Tucker is healthy, Seiya Suzuki. I mean, not necessarily a night where he came out, but, he did have a hit. So it's just the little things. You're looking to start putting things together. The base running was good. The aggressiveness was good. You had a few times with bases loaded. I think early on in the game, you're thinking, man, I wish I could come away with more runs, but to tack on late, I think that was really the key. So the big hit for Matt Shaw that you pointed out at the top of the show, and then this is what happens when Pete gets on. You love to see the power that he has, but just getting on base for him, how he can disrupt the game is big.
Game one of a 3-game wild card set at Wrigley Field. Do you start PCA at leadoff, Cliff?
No. I mean, I don't know. I would say tonight, I loved his first at bat because he was 0-2, and then he battled to get back into that bat to get the sac fly because it changed the whole landscape of your game if you strike out in that situation.
Yeah.
You saw him taking a couple of deep breaths to kind of calm himself down. Very hard to DH. He did that yesterday, played the field today. So a lot of moving parts, and he's not right yet. When you think about that leg, yes, he's back playing, but that thing still hurts. If you miss a game, hitting the ball off your knee.
Yeah. And he got hit today later in the game. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, you're right. You know what I'm saying? So when you think about
good sign that he stole right after that.
He stole a couple bags. He got himself in scoring position. This is what I've been waiting for when you're not hitting the ball at the ballpark. You're not hitting the ball out the park consistently. It's just not going to happen. But you can play this type of game and win, and they did tonight.
And I think even just understanding the situations, like a sac fly is enough in that. Like if you're not going to knock in multiple, because he's a guy's like, I want to come through with the big hit, score multiple runs. But if in that at bat you do your job with sac fly, score one, I think he's the guy now who's getting it. Like just do my job.
That's it. How about show and bunt so Pete can swipe not once but twice? That's all about playing baseball. Absolutely.
I mean all the little things, right? Just to keep things moving, keep the pressure on, make the defense heads up. And so I think that's the difference. Like when a Pete is on base or just when guys are on base, that's all about the pressure, and they had more of that tonight, and they come through tonight.
Yeah, knowing the situation, at least knowing that Strider's not, you're not going to use a slice step with one of the fastest guys in the sport. I'm taking these bags all day on you, right? So, you did have a pickoff with Willie that just can't happen from a right-hander.
Sure.
When you know a guy on the mound is not holding you, tight on that to first, but when you think about the game and the game plan, they executed to perfection pretty much the whole night.
Absolutely. PCA driving in runs, scoring runs, stealing bags. He was a jack of all trades, and that's part of the reason why he's catching up with T-Mac. Listen up.
Thank you. Did you think that ball was out?
Yeah. I put a good pass on that, but I just don't got the juice that way, I guess, and that's okay.
I think you do at some point because you had 2 big-time RBIs to help this team lead early. What was your approach against Strider with a ton of sliders?
The slider was the thing with him. I got minimal pitches off him the first time I saw him, and he located away really well. And I think today was a little more slider heavy, and just being able to let myself bite at it, to let myself swing if I had to, like you saw in that first at bat. I raised my sights and had a good plan with the boys. And he's got a good heater, so we're always ready to hit the heater.
Cade Horton, every time out, it seems he gets better and better and better. From your perspective, what makes him so tough against these really good big league hitters?
I don't know, man. He's gotten more confident, I think, from the outside looking in as the year's gone on. He has controlled his own game pace so well and kind of done things on his own accord. And his preparation's ridiculous. And it's like he's waking up for that one football game a week, when he goes out there to start. He's just a really, really good competitor, and I don't think he's afraid to let people whack it around a little bit because he knows he's going to be just fine. So.
Well, he is an Oklahoma fan, and they had a good start. Thanks, Pete. Cool.
PCA, T-Mac, good stuff. Pete, putting fingerprints on tonight's W. That was big, and that's going to lead us to our GMC Professional Great Plays, presented by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana GMC dealers. How about this? If you're under 23 years of age, well, chances are you're not on this full screen unless your name is one of the following. Junior Caminero, James Wood, and PCA slotting in that third selection. He's out in front of Tyler Soderstrom and Ellie De La Cruz. These guys are the future of Major League Baseball, and it is a good thing that one of the futures wears number 4 in the Chicago Cubs uniform. We're going to show you how everything unfolded. Pete had a great night, so that means highlights around the corner. Plus, we'll check in with the skip. That's next, right here. Don't stray.